A 5-year-old girl ran into a biker bar screaming, "They are beating my mama." And 15 Hell's Angels followed her back into hell. "Please help," she screamed. "They are killing my mama." Robert dropped his beer and knelt down. "Who's hurting your mama, sweetheart?" "Mom's boyfriend and his friends." She sobbed. "They are so loud and hitting her." Every biker in that bar stood up at once. 15 members of the Hell's Angels ready for war. "Where was all?" Robert asked. The little girl pointed down the street. The blue apartment with the broken window. They could hear it now, screaming, crashing. A woman begging for mercy. "What's your name, baby?" Robert asked while they moved. "Sophie," she whispered. "I'm 5. You did good, Sophie. Real good." Robert turned to Tiny, his sergeant-at-arms. "Call 911, but we're not waiting." They reached the apartment in 30 seconds. The door was locked. They heard a woman scream and something heavy hit the wall. Tank didn't hesitate. He kicked the door off its hinges. Inside was chaos. 3 men standing over a woman curled on the floor. Blood everywhere, broken furniture, empty beer bottles, and drug paraphernalia on the table. The woman wasn't moving anymore. "Sophie, don't look," Robert commanded. But it was too late. The little girl saw her mother's broken body and screamed. The boyfriend, a skinny tweaker named Derek, pulled out a knife. "Get out of my house." "Your house?" Razor laughed darkly. "This lease is in Jennifer's name. We checked before coming in." Derek's 2 friends tried to run. They didn't make it 3 steps before being clotheslined to the floor. "You killed her," Sophie cried, trying to run to her mother. Robert held her back gently. "Wait, baby. Let me check." He knelt beside Jennifer and found a pulse. "Weak, but there. She's alive," he announced. "Tiny, we need that ambulance now." Derek made the mistake of moving towards Sophie with the knife. That little brat ruined everything. Robert caught Derek's wrist and squeezed until bones cracked. The knife clattered to the floor. "You touch that child and I'll end you," Robert said quietly. "You can't do anything," Derek snarled. "I know my rights." That's when they heard sirens approaching. Not just one ambulance, but multiple police cars. If you believe bikers are the good people, hit the like and subscribe button to show us your support. Detective Sarah Martinez was first through the door. She saw the scene and understood immediately. "What happened here?" she asked officially. "We heard screaming and found them beating Jennifer," Robert said. "We intervened to save her life." Derek started yelling. "They broke into my home. I want them arrested." Detective Martinez looked at Derek with disgust. "Sir, you're covered in blood that clearly isn't yours." The paramedics rushed in and went straight to Jennifer. She was unconscious. Multiple broken bones, internal bleeding. "She needs surgery immediately," one announced. "Life-threatening injuries." Sophie tried to go with her mother in the ambulance. "Family only," the paramedic said. "She's 5 years old," Robert protested. "Rules are rules," the paramedic insisted. That's when something beautiful happened. Judge Patricia Williams walked in, still in her nightgown under her coat. "I'm authorizing emergency custody to whoever this child chooses," she announced. Everyone stared at the judge in surprise. "Tiny called me," she explained. "My daughter was in Jennifer's position once, and bikers saved her life, too." Sophie looked at all the scarrel-looking bikers, then walked straight to Robert and raised her arms. "You saved my mama." Robert picked her up gently, this tiny girl in his massive tattooed arms. "Can you take care of me until mama gets better?" Sophie asked. "Yeah, baby, we got you." Derek laughed. "You giving custody to a biker? That's illegal." "Actually," Judge Williams said. "Mr. Michael Patterson here has no criminal record, owns a successful auto repair business, and has raised 3 daughters." Derek's friends started talking immediately. This was all Derek's idea. He's been beating Jennifer for months. "We tried to stop him tonight." "Shut up," Derek screamed. Detective Martinez smiled. "Please keep talking. Gentlemen." They spilled everything. Derek had been abusing Jennifer for a year. Tonight she'd tried to leave and he'd gone insane. Sophie saw him choking her mom and ran for help. One admitted kid probably saved her life. Derek was arrested for attempted murder, domestic violence, and drug possession. His friends got assault charges for participating. At the hospital, doctors worked on Jennifer for 6 hours. The bikers took shift staying with Sophie, who refused to leave the waiting room. She colored pictures for each biker. Dragons for Tank, skulls for Razor, a princess riding a motorcycle for Robert. My mama says bikers are dangerous, Sophie said while coloring. But you saved us. Sometimes dangerous people protect good people, Robert explained. Jennifer survived surgery, but was in a coma for 3 days. Sophie never left the hospital, and neither did the bikers. They set up a rotation. Someone was always there. They brought Sophie food, clothes, toys, and books. Derek made bail after a week. His rich parents posted $100,000. He immediately violated the restraining order by showing up at the hospital. Security called the bikers before the police. Derek found himself surrounded by 15 very angry men in the parking garage. I just want to apologize, Derek claimed. She doesn't want your apology, Robert said. You can't keep me from her forever, Derek threatened. Tank smiled coldly. Want a bet? Derek made another mistake. He pulled a gun. 15 bikers scattered for cover as Derek fired wildly. He missed everyone but hit 3 cars. That's when Sophie appeared in the garage doorway. She'd followed the bikers down. Derek pointed the gun at her. This is all your fault, you little brat. Robert didn't think. He just moved. Stepped right in front of Sophie as Derek pulled the trigger. The bullet hit Robert in the shoulder, spinning him around. But he stayed on his feet, shielding Sophie with his body. We always stand with innocent children. And people. If you believe bikers are the good people, click like and subscribe to show us your support. Tank and Razor rushed Derek before he could fire again. The gun went flying. Police arrived to find Derek unconscious and Robert bleeding but still standing, still protecting Sophie. You got shot for me, Sophie said in wonder. Just a scratch, baby. Robert lied through gritted teeth. Derek was charged with attempted murder of a child and assault with a deadly weapon. No bail this time. His parents tried to buy his way out again. They offered Jennifer $2 million to drop charges. She refused. The trial was swift. Derek got 25 years. He cried when they read the verdict. But I loved her, he claimed. Sophie stood up in the gallery, 5 years old, but fierce. You don't hurt people you love. The courtroom applauded. The judge allowed it. Jennifer recovered slowly. Physical therapy, counseling, rebuilding her life. The bikers helped with everything. They paid her rent while she couldn't work, fixed her car, made sure Sophie got to school. Sophie started calling Robert Uncle Mike. He taught her to change oil, fix bikes, and throw a proper punch just in case. Violence isn't the answer, he'd say. Unless someone's hurting you or your mom, then it's the only answer. Jennifer got a job at the Hells Angels auto shop doing the books. She was good with numbers, and they needed someone legitimate handling the business side. Sophie grew up surrounded by leather-clad guardians, the safest child in the city. Derek got stabbed in prison after other inmates found out he'd tried to shoot a 5-year-old. He survived, but spent the rest of his sentence in solitary for his own protection. Jennifer met a good man 3 years later, a mechanic at the shop, former Marine, gentle with Sophie. Robert walked Jennifer down the aisle at her wedding. 15 Hells Angels stood as groomsmen. Sophie was the flower girl throwing petals with fierce determination. You saved us, Jennifer, told Robert at the reception. No, Robert replied, watching Sophie dance with her new stepfather. That brave little girl saved you. She knew who to run to. The Iron Horse Bar has a new rule now. Any child who runs in asking for help gets it immediately. No questions, no hesitation. They've saved 17 women and children since Sophie. Because sometimes angels wear leather and ride Harleys. Sometimes they're the only ones who respond when children scream for help. And sometimes a 5-year-old girl's courage to run barefoot through broken glass to a biker bar saves not just her mother, but shows an entire community what protection really looks like. Sophie's 16 now. She rides her own bike, a gift from the club for her birthday. On the back of her vest, it says protected by angels. And she is. If you love biker stories, check out the link in the first comment.